Hi. I'm going to try and keep myself a little calm this night. I realize that my heatedness can probably turn people off. So I've got to learn to calm down. But I've just been so angry for so many years, you see. So anyways, I'm Skookum1. I'm going as the street professor for now. I'm pondering maybe I should do the angry professor. I'll surely be known as that. I wonder what kind of names I'll be called. I'm not even looking at the media. There's no point. Because my message is to the people of British Columbia. You know, we had something happen here in the early 1980s. And it started when the Royal Navy was sailing for Argentina, and we were all expecting the Rio Plata to glow in the dark, and there was talk of nuclear depth charges. And you know, Reagan was caught in the middle, and then up here, you know, we were all 5,000 a year. We'd go down to Kitts Point, and I was in Vancouver. I went down, and there were already 5,000 people there at 8 o'clock in the morning. So by the afternoon, 80 to 120,000. The next year it was 150 to 200, then 300 in 2002. Oh, sorry, I'm getting decades confused. 1983. So it was the Argentina War the next year, and then the next year just before Solidarity. And this was Vancouver at its progressive liberal greatness. We spawned Greenpeace, the Green Party, Gastown, Herald Head, you know. Like, we were the counterculture. I'm going to do a counterculture video tour of Vancouver. We'll go look at the places, right? You know, and I'll talk about how psychedelic Vancouver, what people don't know who lived here and who lived where. And I lived in an apartment that Philip K. Dick lived in, you know, like, you know, so there's more here. I'm chafed at a certain guy who gave an interview to the Moscow News about how Vancouver was a backwater and boring before the Chinese came. He just didn't know anything, you know, he didn't know what we were like, and they moved in and just said, oh, well, now we're the better people in the world. So I'm not against the Chinese. I welcome them here. I've studied Lao Tzu, the I Ching, and I'm a Buddhist, you know, and I study Hinduism. I'm kind of more like a Hindu Norwegian, you know, like than anything else. I follow the old things, except that all gods are the same. My new Muslim friend, I'm going to learn from him about his faith, right? I've learned a lot of religions, but that's not about any of this. This is about that a lot of people in this province have been denied the right to vote or put on an unequal playing ground. You know, like they let them, oh, have they no cake? That Marie Antoinette said, you know. Oh, well, they can go to Service BC. I don't have to do anything more. I've already voted. That's not good enough, people. We need a movement like we had back then. So when Bennett came in that next year, that wonderful progressive BC, we were all full of love. The cops wore flowers in their bouton. Everybody was. We all wanted peace, and I'm calling out to my brother Dukabors and JJ, okay, that you led the march for peace every single year. Help us lead a vote for democracy. So take my lead, and throughout the Kootenays and throughout wherever you are in BC, ask your fellow Dukabors to do what you did in the march and lead in bringing out the vote and getting the people who weren't sent ballots the right to vote. I don't know whether the Green Party or the other people I've called today, too many to list, is going to take action. But I've also, you know, tagged the international papers on my tweet, or whatever you do, hashtag them, you know. Anybody, please share my tweet. I will do more. And I want to talk about what happened that year. I might as well, because I mention it so much. And I posted the Solidarity flag. If somebody has the BC Solidarity flag, it's just like that one. And either with the Polish with the BC flag or the English in the same lettering with the BC flag. I don't want the Operation Solidarity one that's all over the internet. They co-opted the Solidarity movement, and I'm calling them out on it. Not the members, but the leadership. And I understand now. I know why, because I'll tell you the rest of the story. I've told it before in clips and pieces, but the reality of that was the jackboot coming down on liberal British Columbia to say, no, we can't have, you know, a socialist country. And there was this article in the Tyee. Look, I think it's November 6th or October 6th. And apparently the Mounties, it's a big long article about how the Mounties, you know, they were founded as an anti-communist organization. They became activists that right away when the communism emerged in the early 20th century. They always have been. So that book, Unauthorized History of the RCMP, is well worth buying and reading. And republishing for a publisher out there. I really believe you should call Lauren and Carolyn Brown at USask and publish that thing for all Canadians. And there's a lot of books that all Canadians should have available, which they don't. You know, anyway, so I'm going to go back to that thing. So that's what he did, right? He brought the hammer down. He didn't just bring the hammer down. He reminded us that he could call on American troops to keep this from becoming communist, which is how they'd see us. you know? And that's the problem. So I love my fellow Americans. You're not all bad people, and you don't know the history of War Plan Red. Look it up. I'm going to do a history thing on all the border incidents here and all the border disputes and the threats that were made and the diplomatic maneuvering, because I've studied all of it. But back to '83, it was like we'd been choked, you know, and then we've just all been discontented since all that winter. And it's hard to find the material now because all archives were destroyed by Clan West Global in '93, and CBC doesn't have them either. So somebody or me has to go down to the BC archives or Vancouver archives and dig them out, right? Of the different incidents all over the province of barricades, and whether they were native blockades or not even union, but sometimes community blockades against the government. Like, it continued for a while. It went on for a while. Like, the oppression went on for a while. I call it oppression, right? That this turning of a new, you know, we have power so we can do what we want thing that the First Minister to do. Same as Campbell when he denied Joy McPhail her status as leader of the opposition from what had once been, you know, she was a former premier. To do that to her was disgusting. You know, like, and you got an ambassadorship, you bastard, to get you out of here where we all hated you. So you got some nice cushy job in London to keep on flogging our resources for your pals, right? And ripping up our country, you know, and that's what's going on all the time here. And the real estate now is, you know, I call it castles on the mountains and empty towers in the sky and people sleeping in the rain. And then all the new people don't know any of this, and all the young kids that I'm waking up, and the new people I woke up in the last few days are all like, oh, okay, we're going to vote. On the way here, I talked like 3 or 4 women they were in the tent camp. I think they're at the new, we have modular housing here now for some of them, but there still is a tent camp. So the word is, out on the street, go to Services BC, get your ballot, brother, and vote, okay? Vote for the new system, because the current system is why things are as shitty as they are for a lot of people. Hey, you know, for the people at the top that are making the gravy, yeah, economy is great, you know, oh yeah, the Liberals are, and don't worry, but what about those extremists, you know, that might come in if the PR it's dangerous. Yeah, well, I'll tell you who the dangerous people in BC have been, and they were the ones who held power for too long, right? And then whenever you hold power for too long, the corruption that starts right off the bat, like the amount that Campbell gave away is disgusting, right? Of our not just our property and our services, but also our government services are run by the states now. And I keep on saying, most British Columbians don't realize that they are covered by the Patriot Act thanks to that man. And there's things that Harper did, and that Harper didn't intervene, you know. And Martin wouldn't either on the BC Rail thing, because Martin had his ass scared. Look up Bruce Torrey on YouTube. It comes up on Blogspot, and there's this news article about him having had his office raided about something. You go look at what that's about. Right? This is the kind of hidden shit in this country. This is what the Great Firewall of Canada doesn't apply to just giving us a nice, easy, sweet image abroad with nice mountains. Comes with saying we have wildlife and and beautiful hotels, and oh, look at our cool designers. You know, no. You know, we're not that cool. The world, listen to me. We're not that cool, right? So, like, I'm the true history of Canada. I'm the true president of Canada. I'm speaking from the streets. You know, I'm thank God I'm not living in the shelter, but man, too damn many people are. And the reason is the FPTP system and all it's done. And I'm going to keep on listing it. So anyway, Bennett, out of that election, which was financed when the Big Blue machine, from the Ontario Tories, Bill Harris, flew out 300 digital operatives and they digitized the campaign. And so it looked like Bill was going to lose, right? And then we all know, okay. And then we waited, he won, right? And then, whoa, we didn't turn out strong enough. No. They brought in a machine that pulled people to the polls. So that's what I'm doing right now, is pulling you to the poll. So go to the poll. Right now, it's only elections BC. I'm demanding, Premier Horgan, listen to me. You've done something unjust, all right? By saying, oh, let them go to Service BC if they want a ballot. Oh, to go hell with you. Right? You put ballots where people could get them, put them in the Carnegie, take them to the Salian, put them up at SFU, Douglas College, you know, at all the universities. Anywhere where there's somebody who might be a voter that doesn't have the time to go to Service BC. Because you didn't think to mail them a ballot because they were young, they were from the New Peoples, or they were living on the street or trying to find food or a dry place to sleep. That's why those people deserve the chance to vote. We need a democratic Christmas, and those polls need to stay open until New Year's Eve. I'm getting heated again. I didn't mean to do that, okay? But that's how angry I get about this. But the whole list of everything he gave away is too long to keep this video short, right? Gave away, like here, take this, take that. 85% of our government, as far as I understand the figure from the BC Mary blog somewhere, BC Legislature Raids blog, 85% of our government services, crown corporations, agencies, you know, we didn't just give away BC Rail. We paid them to take it. If the bookkeeping has been hidden, so is the contract. And get this, in that contract, which is quoted somewhere on the BC Legislature Raids blog, I'll try and highlight it and post it. There's a clause in the BC Rail contract that says, if anything in this contract should turn out to be illegal, then the buyer is clearly released of any criminal indemnities or whatever the terminology is. So how can a largely 85% American corporation, largest shareholders Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, get exemption from British Columbia laws on corruption and crime and buying politicians? How did that happen? Because we had a one-party government that we could not dislodge because of FPTP, and had been so rude as to humiliate the leader of the leader of the surviving party, you know, to humiliate her, you know, and give her a tiny little room with no windows with her partner, Jenny Kwan. Both of you people, Jenny and Joy, I hope you hear this and I hope you love it, and I hope please share it. I want to kick off Solidarity Part 2, okay? Solidarity Part 2, people, all over the province. Prince George, Nelson, Trail, Nanaimo. Go talk to the street people. Go talk to the parents. Go to the university. And everybody start sending shit to John Horgan. I'm gonna get, not shit, but, you know, send messages. We want an extension, and these people deserve a right to vote. And right now I'm mobilizing. I'm gonna mobilize more, but I'm an old man. I move slow and I stay up late, right? And I don't get up early. But I'm gonna try and get up my ass in the morning and get to Victoria. I need to do this. I really need to do this. This province needs to have a free democracy, which we've not had in, oh God, I don't know how long. Really, I mean, you know, and I've talked very much about everybody who is at stake. You know, everybody who's at stake. The natives, okay, they all know what's at stake, right? The street people surely know what's at stake. They're spreading the word. The youth now are awake, wide awake, and they want to learn more from me. And they'll probably be asking their professors about what are these things he's asking about. And I'm going to be mentioning more, right? More over history too. I don't know, I'm having a hard time with the name. I don't want to keep the street professor name because it's a nomadic professor. I'll have to come up with an angry professor, they'll call me that, right? But I'll come up with something else. You know, I'm a composer, singer, poet, so I keep my Mike Clevin identity separate. All my actor friends in Halifax, and all my other friends in Halifax, you know, share this around, okay? This is for all Canadians. This is for all of us to try and make this a better country. If we win here, it sets a model, and we mobilize the people to say, we weren't angry at not voting. We never had the time to vote. Or I've been looking for food, place to sleep, pretending the kids are in business class. Those are the 39.5% who the pollsters and the media, I almost caught myself using Trump's phrase, but they are lying here in BC. The conservative media here are owned in New York, or they were last time I looked. Okay, follow the money, right? And I'll have another follow the money story too later about who ran the Public Affairs Bureau and where she came from, because we don't know where she came from, and I can't conclude anything, but there's certain suppositions that Sherlock Holmes would make. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sign off. I'm outside my gym. I meant to come just maybe do a little bit. I haven't in 5 days. I'm running on adrenaline. And I love you all, okay? The people that have been giving me love, same as the people I told tonight, right? That if we all do this, we can make a better British Columbia, and that's what I want. That's what I want for Christmas. I want a better British Columbia for Christmas, where all peoples can enjoy the Christmas season and enjoy democracy, voting in the festive season, and helping the people who need to vote get to the polls so they can take part in our future. Because the people that were excluded by the mail-in ballot are the people who need to vote on this most. They're the future, or the casualties. So please vote against FETP. It doesn't matter what other kind, just vote for PR. You don't have to make a choice, just vote for PR. And it's going to make a better British Columbia, and it's going to set a model for Canada. Thank you for listening. Skookum1, Street Professor, signing off from the very wet coast in Maple Ridge, about to go into his gym. Thank you. I love you all.